My question was, there's a lot of people I see like everywhere talking about vegan diets and how much healthier and better it is for their body and the environment. So my question was, is it actually that much better than a non-restricted diet? Before I get into it, I just wanted to talk about the reasons for people going vegan. One of the main ones is just healthier lifestyle by cutting out a lot of different sugars and preservatives and different things that are being added into it. They think that they'll be eating healthier and it'll be a healthier lifestyle. Some people do it as a stand against animal cruelty because they think and believe that most food coming from animals has been farmed in an inhumane way. And they also think it's healthier for the planet by not using as many chemicals and using as many factories to process different foods. Some different foods that are encompassed in a vegan diet is fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, different dairy alternatives like almond milk, white bread and wheat bread, and white rice and wheat rice, and some pastas. In a non-restricted diet, you can eat literally anything that you want. Here's a quote from Ron Swanson: "There's been a mistake. You've accidentally given me the food that my food eats." Some pros to a vegan diet are that they prevent diabetes because you'll be eating foods that are lower on the glycemic index, meaning that you'll have a lower chance of your blood sugar rates spiking because there's less foods and added sugars in the foods that you'll be eating. Your blood pressure and cholesterol will be lowered because you're eating plant foods that have a lot of glutamic acids in it. In the first 10 months, you'll notice weight loss, which can be a good thing. It'll also lower the chances of heart disease and certain cancers, as well as arthritis. And this is because most of the food that you'll be eating with a vegan diet will be natural, and foods that aren't pumped full of added sugars, grease, preservatives, and just other chemicals that can be found in foods. Some cons to a vegan diet is that you can lose weight rapidly and an unhealthy rate sometimes, just because you're switching from a diet where you could be eating a lot of food to a diet with some restricted food that could not be as big. So there's lots of studies to show you could lose weight very quick. You lose a lot of key nutrients such as vitamins B12 and omega-3 fatty acids. You'll have lower levels of calcium, which can really hurt your body because your bones will start to get a little bit weaker. You'll also be very fatigued and tired because of the change in the food that you're eating, and also kind of has to do with some of the nutrients that you'll be taking or won't be taking. And you also have a lower protein intake. Pros to a non-restricted diet are you don't have to worry about the loss of nutrients because you'll be eating all the same things you usually eat. You'll have lots of protein and calcium because you'll be able to eat meat and you'll be able to eat dairy products from cows. It's more available and easier to get your hands on because most stores sell foods for a non-restricted diet, and also most restaurants are for foods that are from a non-restricted diet. And it's usually better tasting just because of everything that's been added into it, and most of it's fake. Some cons of a non-restricted diet are it can cause diabetes because of the amounts of sugar and unhealthy food that you could be eating. It can cause heart problems and obesity because of the amounts of grease and just other things. It can lead to high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Here's a video.
A cozy Virgo mountain cabin with a kitchen where everyone can chef.
What happens to your body when you go vegan? Thinking of making the jump to a vegan diet? You're not alone. In your first few weeks, you may feel especially tired. Without meat, vegans often have a hard time getting enough vitamin B12 and iron, which helps make red blood cells and transport oxygen throughout the body. But it's nothing a supplement or handful of nuts can't fix. You may also discover that foods don't taste the way they used to. That's because your zinc levels have taken a hit, affecting your overall sense of taste and smell. On the plus side, some weight right away. After switching, new vegans lost an average of 10 pounds over a 10-month period. Plus, a 2009 study found that average BMI was lower for vegans than all other diets. Another benefit that you may experience is a healthy decrease in cholesterol, blood pressure, and heart disease risk. In 1999, a study showed that vegans were 24% less likely to have clogged arteries from saturated fat and cholesterol. While your arteries are better off, your bones may not be. If you're like most Americans who get their daily calcium from dairy products, you may see a dip in calcium levels. But you can combat this by simply boosting your intake of kale, broccoli, and other leafy greens. Plus, cutting out dairy might make you more regular. 60% of humans don't have the enzymes to properly digest lactose in dairy. The result is cramping, bloating, and even diarrhea.
So basically that video was just kind of giving some of the different pros and cons to switching to a vegan diet, and then also some of the ways that you can combat the things that you'll be missing. The solution that I came up with is I think there should be a good mix between the two diets. I think that more vegetables in a diet and less preservatives and processed foods can be healthy for your body, especially cutting out the preservatives and processed foods. But I still think that meat and dairy are very important and natural proteins are important because it's something that your body needs to grow and get stronger. And I think it's healthier than putting in different supplements that you'll need to be able to combat the loss of meat and dairy. And that's what works out. Yes.
I don't know if you can answer this question now, so you can say no. But are vitamin supplements enough to account for like the loss of the vitamins you lose? And if so, is the processing of the vitamin supplements the same as like processing for other foods?
I don't know about the last half, but to be able to make up for what you're missing, usually the supplements, it'll just be like a pill or powders that will make up for the amount that you'll need in the day.
How do like all like different like stuff, like the ingredients they put in like fake chicken and like fake meat affect the body?
Usually it's the same, like it's just the different processed ingredients, and that's just really bad for arteries and your heart. And that's part of like what leads to like heart disease and also like high cholesterol. Chase.
If you are on a vegan diet, what can you eat to get your protein?
They have different vegan supplements, like Chance was saying in his thing. There's lots of different vegan protein powders, and there's also a lot of like natural things that you can find protein in. Like there's some different vegetables that people are able to find them in. It's just not as high of a level as what you can get from meat.
Okay, thank you.
Get out right.
Alright, let's over.
That's a clean rate.
Well, by the way, don't play the slip game until the person's done talking. I can hear you guys when you finish your thing and you want to just look at somebody like in the middle of their questions and you're all, bah! Don't do that loud. Until they're done.
Yeah, but I didn't mess one up all day.